Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Namaste. Welcome to the 10th session of our course Yoga and Positive Psychology for Managing Career and Life. In today's session, we will continue our discussion on the ways of attaining well-being in yogic perspective. Well-being is reflection of efficient and effective managing self. That's why we are going to have this discussion about well-being in great detail. Yogic perspective of well-being is very much parallel to the Ayurvedic perspective of well-being. In fact, there are some great scholars like David Frawley. They suggest that yoga and Ayurveda must be understood and practiced in sync with each other, in synergy with each other. Many accomplished and very reputed yoga practitioners and yoga teachers and yoga masters, they are found to be great admirers and supporters of Ayurveda. That's why we are going to look at the idea of good life, idea of happy life, and we are taking the references from the Ayurvedic perspective because they are very much in sync with the yogic perspective. So, a quick recap as we do in all the sessions, we mentioned about the 4 factors identified in the Charak Samhita and other Ayurvedic texts. Those are Tattvavabodh, Indriya Jaya, Sukhayu Hitayu and Dharma Kriya. These are the 4 ways of attaining well-being and attaining happiness in life. And we also discussed that these 4 things are connected to each other. And in the last session, we had detailed discussion on Tattvavabodh and Indriya Jaya. In today's session, we are going to look at the following things. Number 1, we will recognize the wisdom as sign of Tattvavabodh, and we will also talk very briefly about the wisdom assessment information. In this session, we are going to explain the idea of Dharma Kriya, examine the different dimensions of Dharma Kriya, interrogate the Sukhayu Hitayu, the manifested form of good life or happy life is called to be Sukhayu Hitayu, and we are going to interrogate different characteristics, different elements of the Sukhayu and Hitayu, and we will look at how these 4 ways of attaining well-being are also very much in line with the current literature about attaining well-being at workplace. So, these 4 elements, these 4 ways of attaining happiness in life, well-being in life are equally relevant at workplace as well. That is my claim, and that is what I am going to explain towards the end of the session. So, we look at the wisdom, and if you recall our last session, we recognized that Tattvavabodh is reflected in wisdom. So, wisdom has cognitive, affective and cognitive, all 3 aspects included in it. The very famous paper in a very reputed journal Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA Psychiatry, talks about the 6 factors. We discussed these factors in the last session. Those who have registered for the NPTEL course, they must have received a link for the test of on the wisdom scale. So, this wisdom scale it's a longish one. Initially it had 114 items, and now this scale is shortened. Participants must have received the shortened version. this captures the cognitive, reflective and affective, all three aspects of wisdom. That is a reflection of Tattvabodh. Both this is developed by Erdland, very famous scale. So, as you take the scale based on your scores, you must have seen the interpretation of the scores as well. So, for that, and that is only for those who have registered for the NPTEL course. Let us look at the third component about which we started our discussion in the last class, and the third component is Dharmyah Kriya. So, this text talks about harsh, meaning happiness. The nimitta, the reason for that, one of the predominant reason for that Charak identifies is Dharmyah Kriya, acting according to dharma, action according to dharma. And dharma is not religion, dharma is harmony within self and with outside social and natural environment. So, following dharma meaning living and behaving in harmony with self, with social and natural environment, and our constant endeavor to transcend our limited ego, constantly including so called others in our living, in our experience. So, this is in brief dharma is being defined. That is, we have had discussion about this notion of dharma in the previous sessions as well. If we need to look at Dharmyah Kriya from this perspective of living this value in lifetime, this can be understood in three dimensions. These three dimensions are Dharmic Drishti, means our perspective, our way of looking at things. Dharmic Kriya, actually the intent or pursuit according to Dharmic perspective, and Dharmic livelihood means action, how we integrate dharma in our day to day actions and day to day dispositions. If you look at the noble eightfold path of Buddha, this eightfold path also talks about Samyak Vani, Samyak Karya or Samyak Jivika. So, it also talks about right livelihood, right action and right speech, and we all know that dharma is a well accepted and anchoring concept in the Buddhist tradition as well. Let us look at these three elements in a little more detail. What should be the view, how we should look at world? That is the Dharmic Drishti. How do I look at the world? So, this Drishti is reflected in the classic text, and which what we call Prasthantrayi, that is Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita, and this is also translated in the Subhashitani, the popular text, popular shlokas which convey the deeper ideas in more understandable language, more operational language. So, this Subhashitani is very famous in India, and it goes like Matravat Paradareshu Paradravyeshu Loshtavat Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu Ya Pashyati Sa Pandita. So, this is the definition of the one who is knowledgeable. Who is the knowledgeable? The one who look at Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu, who looks at all the bhutas, all the elements of nature as is of his himself or herself. So, that is the sign of ultimate knowledge, who does not consider anyone as other. All this world is part of me, it is reflection of myself. This is given in Bhagavad Gita as well as Upanishad. In the Bhagavad Gita, the famous slok in the 6th chapter says that Ikshate, meaning that who sees, Yoga Yuktatma, the one who is with Yog, Yog Yukta, Yukta means with, and Yog means the one who is with Yog, that Atma, Sarvatra Samadarshana, that who looks at everything and everybody with equanimity. So, that is what Bhagavad Gita says. True yogi is the one who sees everything in self and self in everything, all living being in God and God in all living being. So Ishopanishad also says like this, yastu sarvani bhutanyatma atmaneva anupashyati. Bhutanyat, so other living beings, bhutanya atmamanyeva, like self, anupashyati, who sees that. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato vijugupsate, the one who looks at everybody, all the other organism as self, naturally all animosity and all fear will go away in his heart and in his mind. So these are the signs, these are the examples of Dharmic Drishti. These are the explanation of the Dharmic Drishti, how to look at the world.